Hello, all my illuminaries and mysterians. Welcome back to the illuminarchy. Now, I will say, the illuminarchy it is very interesting. Its roots stand in a place. Good thing for roots, to be stable, to be in a place. That place, the beginning of time, was enlightened anarchy. But I've also known it to become enlightened ruling class. So the fact is, the illuminarchy means both. It's both sides of the coin. It can be the enlightened side of the system that exists, or it can be the enlightened resistance to that system. But enlightenment comes first. It's the wisdom that drives us. So I sit back and think, what are we doing? Well, I have illuminaries and mysterians. My friends, all of my friends, are either illuminaries or mysterians. Fact is, the world is binary. And if you are not a dark person, meaning that you are not just bringing evil forth into the world, then you're either a luminary or Mysterian. Because either you're shining forth your light and making the world a better place, even if it's only directly around you, or you're a Mysterian and you're searching out the mysteries. You're searching into those dark corners and you're finding out the truth. So where do we stand then? Where do we stand? You're either looking for truths or you're shining forth your light. Those are my illuminaries and Mysterians. And you know something? You don't have to be my illuminary or Mysterian. Fact is, everyone's a luminary or Mysterian in their own life. They're either shining forth the light, the inner light they have, as an example to the way that life should exist, or they're searching out mysteries in the dark places. And it's that really what I kind of wanted to talk to you about. See, because the illuminarchy goes so far beyond my publishing company. It goes so far past all of my little pet projects. It goes past all of it into ad infinitum, ad nauseum, if you wish. The point being is that we, as a species, work out as the luminaries or Mysterians. It seems the lighting is horrible here because of just enough shade. So I will look up. I'm looking up in the world. I look up to you, and yes, I do look up to all of you, to every last one of you, to my friends who will actually watch this, to my friends that'll tolerate watching it for a while, to all of the people I know and care about. All of it is just, it's a blessing to my heart, because I know how many lives I've touched. I know how many lives I've touched positively, some negatively, because I have found that the gift I have, other than the gift of gab, or as my mother might say, that I didn't kiss the Blarney Stone, I swallowed the damn thing. But either way, I am blessed and thankful that everybody in my life is either drawing forth that light or searching those mysteries. And because of that, I'm announcing a project that has been on my heart for over a decade. Probably a decade and a half, almost 2 decades. Brought up by a friend of mine, Sean Miller. He is my co-founder, even if I have to push it forward myself for a while. It's no end university. It is not a place that is a place that is not nowhere, but no when. It is a city that exists at the cusp of infinity, and where great tales of education are told, where great minds learn to be educated. No end university is officially starting to look for actors for the productions necessary to put on to put on all of this wonderful education that I know exists, because to give you an idea of where we're going with this is, you have the early philosophers who were the scientists of their day, admittedly. And those scientists, they were searching out mysteries. Were they not? So they're mysterians. They were searching out mysteries. But their mysteries, the way they understand it, was how the universe was working. So, before you have the development of the telescope, physics really lied physics at the time was more concerned with philosophy. And so the early philosophers, conjured their minds about how the universe worked, and some said the sun rotated around the earth and such. But then you go through Plato and Socrates and Aristotle, even Marcus Aurelius. You look at some of that work, and then you're looking at that work, but you have actors representing those characters as they're popping in and adding fact that we know to be fact today to the human knowledge. Okay. Then after they add fact, and they fall away to the next and the next and the next, and this process continues until you get to Galileo, and then you get further along and you get to understanding the universe better, because that's what physics is about, is understanding and defining our universe. So you look at the progression of how physics came to be. You continue this progression through people playing actors into and including, Nikola Tesla and Einstein and Stephen Hawking, if you can get somebody to play him, unless he really wants to play himself, which I would blessedly love, since he's probably, if not the smartest man, he's definitely in the top 2. So, there may be a man smarter than him that just does not have the exposure he has. But either way, you work your way through this, and then physics is defined over time from its earliest understanding to its current understanding. And you do that in a show-like environment where, the next brighter understanding, the one that we know is a better refinement, says no, and issues them off the previous one off the stage. And this continues until you get to the Stephen Hawking level, where you're really discussing modern day physics. All of these discussions, this movie-like discussion, is used as a video for schooling younger ones in the basics of physics. You do the same thing with all other subjects, writing. And you could have people who are doing the early cuneiform writing and the clay tablet, and then they're issued forth when papyrus comes into the game, and then the hemp-based papers, and then we have the codex, and then printing, and the actual movable type printing, and you have all this as it go through a discussion of like the history of writing. So No End University was based in a question that if you could put Napoleon, Hitler, and like Pol Pot, same room, what kind of discussion would occur? Beyond the breakout of just the lunacy of anger, what would be the discussion with failed despots? If you had all the failed despots throughout time in a room, what would the discussion in the room be? That is the crux. It came from actually a silly question that Sean had heard over the radio decades ago, and it's fostered this concept. Well, I am looking for writers and actors who are looking to keep things in that educational stream, who are looking to work forward from look forward from that point. Okay, because it's on Donkey Kong. I want this project to succeed. If this was the last thing I got to do in my life, I'd be happy. I'd be blissfully happy. This would be the one thing that if I could contribute to the education of young to early adulthood children, I would have to say that would be the most amazing thing that I had to have my hand in. So No End University is looking for writers and actors to participate in an experimental educational program. And kind of like the way Sesame Street was on its first goings out. It was experimental. There was no guarantee it was going to catch the kids and teach them. Now, I don't want to step back to that level. I'm looking for minds that are ready to burst forth. Now, admittedly, the fastest we learn is in infancy. But I need where they're ready to pursue the subjects of understanding instead of just, learning how to walk. All those complexities, it takes tremendous amount of brain power. And that's why the child's mind is the absolutely most powerful machine. But I'm not going to teach the young ones. Sesame Street did a beautiful job of that. Along with, there are a lot of other ones from my Zoom. There are a lot of you probably never remember that. And the electric company and stuff like that. Most of it has fallen off into antiquity. I remember Marlowe and his Magic Movie Machine, and all these other weird and interesting shows. Things just completely touched me as a child. So I'm also calling out for those who would like to invest in it. What I'm thinking about doing is actually a crowdfunding project. But either way, that's the intent where I'm heading, is getting No End off the ground. I mean, I had some scripts that were written up almost a decade and a half ago. I'd have to rewrite them because, we'll just say 2 divorces as a way of lightening your burden. So, that being said, yeah, I'm really looking. I would love to move forward with that project completely, get it accomplished before my liver malfunctions and my kidney malfunctions and my heart malfunctions and my brain malfunctions claim me. One of them will kill me one of these days. One of these days I'll just click, shut off, be dead. But until then, I still have breath and I still have life. And I'm going to push forward and I'm going to overcome. Always, always overcome. That's the one thing I have learned from friends of mine who were in the service as well, but they were Marines. I was in the Navy. But they quickly taught me, adapt, improvise, overcome. Adapt, improvise, overcome. Most 3 important words I have ever learned in my life. And in that order, they have allowed me to thrive through situations that would kill lesser men. And I'm not saying all men are lesser. I'm saying some people just give up easily. You can ask friends of mine. There are some things they are amazed I've survived. Because they know me. They know I'm obstinate. They're pretty sure it's not going to kill me, but they're amazed to hear about it afterwards. They're like, oh my goodness, how the heck did you get through that? Bullheaded obstinance. I am probably the 5th or 6th most stubborn man I've ever met. I think there are people probably more stubborn than myself. But there is a point where it gets to be obstinate to an extreme, and I just can't do that. So I got to try to be me. And I try to bring forth light in the world. Do as much as I can in the way it could. Make people's lives better. With that, I have to say, peace out to you today. And peace out to you tomorrow. Peace out to you always. And as always, peace out.